Hi, welcome to the Gooner Brothers channel, the show that is dedicated to everything Arsenal. We're back!
Finally.
It's been quite a while. So far, a lot of things have happened regarding Arsenal in terms of our transfer activity coming in and going out as well. Let's talk about the ones that actually left.
Long-serving player we all know, Jack Wilshere. He left for West Ham. I think that was quite a sad loss, but to be fair, I don't think it was for money. I think it was more for game time. And of course, Arsenal were going to give him a pay cut by 30%, apparently, the sources say. And I guess it's also that, on top of that, he's not going to play much. So why would he stay, right?
He wanted the guarantee that he could get to play in the first 11.
Yeah.
But since Emery told him, no, I can't guarantee you that, he decided that he's gonna show. So
yeah, nothing much to say about that.
But at least we let go of a diva.
So many issues off the pitch, right? All the smoking and clubbing.
Yeah. We wish him all the best. Let's move on. Long-serving captain for quite a while. Mertesacker, the BFG. His time was up. So
yeah, I mean,
nothing much you can say.
He
about
joined
that.
Arsenal anyway. I mean, as a coach, right? He's not like he's left completely. We all knew that it was gonna be his last season with Arsenal, but he still stayed with Arsenal as now youth academy manager. And lastly, Santi Cazorla. It's so sad he hasn't played for us for 2 years and it seems like a big loss, but now that he's fit, I personally wish him all the best because he has done nothing but give his 100% or more, and it's just unfortunate what's happened to him. Never been able to play for us for the past 2 seasons, and every time he gets onto the pitch, he has been outstanding, never giving less than an 8, I would say, out of like a 10 every single time.
He's one of those players where the moment he stopped playing for us, we were in trouble for the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We had no one to replace him in that area of the central midfield. The closest we had was Wilshere, and even that, nobody could replicate what he did.
He had to take that secondary midfield role the moment we brought in Ozil. We thought, oh my god, what are we going to do with Cazorla? And can he play that central midfield role with Coquelin at that time? And in fact, he played really well defensively and offensively, and it just clicked. You know, he managed to cover the positions that Ozil or Coquelin couldn't cover, and it just gelled, those three. But then he got injured.
Scary injury.
Yeah, I mean,
an infection that just kept taking over his Achilles, and it was scary. He had to go for more than 11 surgeries, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't cancer, but it was something that was a parasite, sort of. I'm glad that they didn't have to amputate his foot.
One of those things, I mean, the doctor said he might be lucky just to walk again, right?
We're very happy. This is unfortunate that he didn't get to have any few minutes in the final game last season, because you know how he was training on the pitch before our final game at the Emirates, right? But he didn't make any appearance. It's unfortunate, but we wish him all the best.
Apart from those big 3 players that left, we have a few that have recently announced that they're leaving, like Chuba Akpom,
Jeff Rene Adelaide.
I think ever since Unai Emery came, he's looked at the squad, he's assessed the squad, especially players like Lucas Perez and Joel Campbell, for example. I believe that he looked at these players and he probably thinks, I mean, okay, Joel Campbell, he didn't feature for Arsenal in any of the preseason games.
But he got back to training after giving a few weeks off from being with Costa Rica in the World Cup.
To be fair, he did go to the World Cup, so there wasn't much time spent with him in training. But Lucas Perez, I believe that he's on the way out. By the looks of things, Alex Iwobi got contract extension, and then we also signed Emile Smith-Rowe.
And don't forget Xhaka.
Before the end of the season, right? These are exciting things. Before we talk about the new transfers, right? So what do you think of the new transfers? So far, we've had 5.
First of all, Stefan Lichtsteiner. That was a great buy, even though he was free. I think he's great, considering that we got him for free. You know, we only have to pay him for his wages, and he's there to set up as a pusher for Bellerin. He's won 7 titles with the Giants of Italy, Juventus. So there's nothing much I can complain about that. My only concern is that fatigue. For a guy who's 34, and he's not a centre-back, he's a full-back, so he has more mileage on him compared to centre-backs. So I'm not surprised if he cannot handle all the competitions that Arsenal will be in.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Lichtsteiner was brought in, I believe, to just keep Bellerin on his toes, right? Even though he's 34, he's still got a lot in him. It's just, you have to decide as a manager, when do you play him? Whether you want to play him or Bellerin to start most of the games. If you look throughout the squad now, we have relatively good players for each position. As in, the starting player would be good, the backup player is also good. You can slot them in easily and not worry about it too much. Previously, we would be thinking, who's going to back up for Bellerin? No one. We've talked about this the whole of last season, right?
Bellerin has been so complacent to the fact where he's not even performing for the past 2 seasons. We don't know what happened to the young lad that broke into the Arsenal 11 when Debussy was out. So now the fact that we have an experienced right back to push Bellerin, there's 2 ways that Bellerin can handle the situation. It's either, hey, they brought in this guy, so I gotta up my game, or I can be a fashionista and grow my hair even longer and continue doing whatever fashion that I always post on Instagram and whatever crap that I do, and not care about football anymore.
So moving on to Bernd Leno, he's our new goalkeeper from Bayer Leverkusen. He's not necessarily young as a player, but still very young as a goalkeeper. He's only 26. He's come in, taking up the challenge to become the second, and I think that that's a refreshing proposition for the team, because you don't want a guy who's coming in, who's got the skills, but to disrupt the system, right? At the same time, Petr Cech, I believe, hasn't really been performing well enough over the past 2 seasons. I think he's on decline. Although the preseason games have been really well for him. He's done really fantastic pretty much. But this competition between Cech and Bernd Leno, I think is a great step.
Yeah, definitely. But now the question is, who's going out?
Oh, it has to be Ospina.
We have 4 keepers coming into the line. We'll think about that later. Now let's talk about the center back.
Yep.
Beast from Dortmund. You want to say the name or I say the name? Socrates Papavafalos. So this was a good buy considering at his price. The return on investment is not going to be bad if he doesn't perform. What do you think about him?
He has stated that he is the no-nonsense type of defender that wants to make the other attacker cry, right?
Yeah. You don't see him smiling. That's
yeah. For me, that's what we need. Steel, right? Especially at the heart of the defense. For me, Koscielny seems like the finesse type of defender, you know, being able to pass, dribble, and score. But Socrates is the kind of player we've always needed. No nonsense, just defend. He'll be a great addition, and the question remains on who will partner him. Will it be Mustafi? Or will it be one of the youngsters, Holding or Chambers? Because we know Koscielny will be out for the first half of the season.
Or it could be a Greek duo partnership with Mavropanos.
Right.
So.
My only concern is he versatile enough to play in the EPL?
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of Arsenal fans are concerned about his pace. But from the way that I see it is, well, centre-backs, they must have some sort of speed. But to me, the speed is not as important compared to the other qualities that a centre-back must have, such as strength-wise. Yeah. If you're talking about fullbacks, that's a completely different story. Fullbacks must have much better speed compared to centre-backs because they will always need to be prepared to run back during counter-attacks. Not the centre-backs, on the other hand. That's not how they're usually played for. I'm very happy that we managed to get this Spartan for such a good deal. At the same time, I feel bad that we're just rating Dortmund for all their players because first it was Mkhitaryan and now it's Aubameyang. And then Socrates and maybe Dembele. I don't know.
We don't know yet. Our next player is Lucas Torreira. And we know, based on the World Cup, that he was a beast, right?
Oh god, he pocketed Ronaldo like you couldn't see anything, man.
This is exactly the kind of player that we've all been looking for. Like our own CANT. A little beast of a player that just runs the park. Who's going to partner him? Is it going to be Xhaka? Is it going to be El Neni? Or is it going to be Ramsey? It's a question of what kind of formation Emery wants Arsenal to play. Because without him, I think we would be lacking defensively. And he's the kind of defensive player we've always been missing. We can see that Xhaka, who is not a natural defensive midfielder, play higher up, hopefully take more attacking shots and spread the ball faster.
Definitely, because in terms of playing with other midfielders, it allows players like El Neni and Xhaka, who are not natural DMs, to be able to play out up front, distribute the balls freely without having to worry us so much into coming back during a counter-attack. Now let's talk about a player that we got. Oh wow, I thought this was a steal considering at this age and he's playing this well. I hope that he's not a bust, and that's Matteo Guendouzi. Holy moly, the way he's been playing for us. 70% of the earth is covered by water, the rest is covered by Guendouzi, man. Seriously. Like, I'm not joking.
Okay, that's a bit of a stretch, but I think overall, seeing him play, let's face it, no one knew who he was, right? But seeing him play, 19 years old, he plays like he's got no fear. And he's just always wanting the ball, always moving it. In times that we need him to defend, he just fills up the space. Just a natural player. Guendouzi, I see him in the long term, he can definitely be a center midfield player that's integral to the,
My only concern is that he needs to control his anger because there are so many times where we've seen him during preseason, the fact that he loses his temper over meaningless calls. I understand that he's young and he has time to grow, but if he's playing officially in the league, there's no time to make silly mistakes.
Right.
To get bookings, especially.
That comes with age and experience. I think you see that same fire when Wilshere plays every single game for us. Always wants to win. Always wants that things to go well. He really has that passion, you know, and that's really good. We need somebody who can, you know, give that energy.
Overall, I would rate this transfer window an 8 out of 10. Considering with our new team of scouts, they get players that we have never even heard of, and they've already spotted them before their name was even heard of. Nobody knew who Guendouzi was from Lorient, or nobody knew who Torreira was from Sampdoria. For example, Torreira was already linked to Arsenal before the World Cup, and then it happened so that the World Cup he started performing. It goes to show how efficient and effective Sven Mislintat and his crew are.
Yeah, I would rate it a 9 out of 10. The reason why is because I already mentioned that we need a goalkeeper, and on top of that we need a new defense essentially. You know, we need a central defender, on top of that we need a right back, and we've managed to fill those up. On top of that, we need a true defensive midfielder, which we have had in Torreira. In all bases, we've covered it. The only thing I think we're lacking is we need a winger, whether it's a right winger or a left winger, because the way I see it, we're very short up front. Even though we have a lot of quality, you know, we have Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Mkhitaryan up front, partnered with Ozil in the middle. Beyond that, who's gonna play? Is it gonna be Ramsey on the wing? Is it gonna be Joel Campbell on the wing? We have no idea. We let go of Walcott, we let go of Wilshere, we let go of a lot of players, and Lucas Perez even, we don't know what's gonna happen with him. So it will be, yes, maybe he can play on the left. He has been performing. And to be honest, Mkhitaryan is not a true right winger. If he gets injured, what's gonna happen?
I particularly gave 8 out of 10 because I think it's very important in terms of getting a right winger. We've been struggling to get a player to fix that position. In the past, we had no problem with the left wing. We had Sanchez, we had Gervinho. Left wing, no problem. It's always going to be there. But on the right, we've had players trying to fill in that role, whether it was Walcott, who was a true winger, right? Or Chamberlain, or even Ramsey, when he's not being deployed in the middle, down at the park, he's being put on the right flank. But so far, to no avail. So how can we find a player out there that is a true right wing? We're not asking for someone like Robin, but we're asking for someone who is highly experienced in that area. Someone that can cooperate with either Bellerin or Lichtsteiner. So you see what I'm trying to say is that it's not just about whether the player is a left wing or a right wing. It's also about their chemistry with their partners behind them. So someone like Bellerin, who you're going to partner with. Someone like Lichtsteiner, who you're going to partner with. Overlapping, all these things during the attack and during the defense. Backing up. These are very, very important in determining whether we need a left wing or a right wing. As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be my #1 pick for that right wing spot.